Hey guys, it's Danspex here, and you all know the drill by now. We're continuing our journey of redesigning Sonic's wide array of characters. If you haven't seen the last 3 parts, first off, that's kind of weird starting on part 4, not gonna lie. But second, I actually made a playlist that has all my redesign videos in it, so you can catch them all in one place right here in the card on the top right corner. However, in this episode, we're going to be wrapping up what is essentially the main cast, as a lot of you have requested these 4 characters in particular from the last video. I really can't wait to show off what I came up with, but before we get into that, I just want to mention something real quick. Since the last video, a lot of you have shared artwork with me on how you would redesign some of the Sonic characters, which is really cool to see. First off, we got this one from @Kainomi the artist on Instagram, which reminds me a lot of the Sonic Boom concept art, while taking some cues from his needle mouse design with the multiple spikes and body proportions and whatnot. I would totally love to see this costume for Sonic in the games or comics, but too bad Sega doesn't let him wear pants. Seriously, that's such a stupid rule, what the hell. Next up, we got this one from Andrew @DJDrew200124, who did the whole Sonic CD cast. Metal Sonic looks awesome in this dark blue, and I absolutely love Eggman's expression. He looks pretty good with actual eyebrows. Next, we got a twofer from @JT7681, who gave us these awesome Sonic and Blaze redesigns. I love the adventure style shoes, and Blaze's color palette is really nice by adding a lot more pinks into it. I also love that he gives them their own little chow. @Shadow the Edgy gives us all these cool interpretations of Sonic. They all have this loose kind of feel, kind of like the models in 06, and they all look really cool. I love how many styles he gives them. Next, we got @KaiGear30, hopefully I pronounced that right, who gives us this adorable Sleepy Sonic. I absolutely love this one, with his bed head and all the little references like the shirt from the OVA and the stuffed rabbit, which was Sonic's original design concept. Overall, genius and really well done. This one is awesome. And last but certainly not least, we got @JCreative, who gave us these Sonic and Shadow designs with the drip, as well as this Fang artwork, along with this incredible rough and tumble piece, which absolutely blew me away. I love this one so much, from the posing, shading, coloring, to the background details. Everything is just truly astonishing. Thank you all so much for those who have shared your artwork with me. I really appreciate it, and you all are super talented. Everyone, go check out these people who shared their artwork and give them all your support. They all really deserve it. And if any of you have any redesigns of Sonic characters that you would like to be featured, you can share them with me @Danspex on Instagram. I would really love to see what you all come up with. With that said, now let's move on to the redesigns, starting off with the Hedgehog from the future, Silver. With Silver, there was one thing that always perplexed me with his design, in that he doesn't look like he's from a post-apocalyptic future. He doesn't have a bad design by any means, far from it. In fact, it's probably one of my favorites, with how stylized his hair is, his cool boots and gloves. He stands out from the rest, and you can tell he lives in a time period that's years away from where the main cast reside in. However, Silver looks like he lives in a civilized utopia rather than a burning hellscape. He just looks so bright and clean. He just clashes with Crisis City's aesthetic. So with my redesign, I decided to give him a color palette that more so matches the future he's in. I made his gloves black so it serves as a nice contrast with his main body color, instead of it being white on white like in his base model, as well as giving him this neckerchief that follows the same coloring as his boots. It has 2 long strands in the back, as I feel like it would look cool flapping in the wind as he looks down in the hellhole he calls home. I feel like with just these 2 changes alone, it does a good job of giving him a more apocalyptic look, without having to resort to giving him any body scars or damage, and so I don't have to change his main body color. I mean, his name is Silver. It would look weird to call him that while changing his fur to be like black or something. I also made some small tweaks such as his body proportions, like I did with the other cast members. And I wanted his hair in the front to be a lot fuller and curve up more so it doesn't look like, that, as it does in his original model. But yeah, overall, I feel like this does a way better job of matching him with his surroundings. Now for the next character, it's a fan favorite purple cat.
Yes.
One of the most requested characters I've been told to do a redesign.
He's right.
A name you all know, it starts with a B.
That's me.
Please welcome our new redesign, Big the Cat.
Yes! Yeah!
Yes, well. With Big's design, I actually didn't want to change too much because I'm gonna be 100% honest, I really freaking love this character, man. Like, look at him, he's just so goofy and stupid. I love him. Now, yes, his gameplay in Sonic Adventure was quote-unquote ass, but Big being a character not really taking into account how he plays, he's probably one of my top 5 favorites in the franchise. And everything about his design tells you all you need to know about him. He's just a big dopey cat that loves nothing more than to just fish all day. I think another reason why I love him is that he's designed so different from how the other characters in the franchise are, yet he fits in so well with them. Like, he doesn't match any of the same body proportions or face types, yet he doesn't look weird standing next to Sonic or any of the other characters for that matter. So he's pretty unique in that regard. So with that in mind, I just wanted to fix some personal gripes I have with him. Like, I made his arms shorter as I don't really care for how long they are. They can practically touch the floor while he stands. I gave him slightly different gloves and a belt that has pouches so he can carry all his fishing gear with him. As well as giving him boots instead of sandals because I think it's a cardinal sin if Sonic characters show off their feet. He now has a longer tail, and finally I fixed his face up a bit so it looks more cat-like, with whiskers rather than just some tufts of fur he has on his cheeks. But yeah, that's pretty much it with Big. I feel like I'm skipping over a character. Oh, yeah. There we go. With Froggy, I want him to keep his tail as a permanent side effect from the mutation from Chaos. It just makes him look more unique. I mean, I'm not really sure if he kept the tail actually. It feels like we haven't seen Froggy in forever and none of his recent artworks depict him with the tail, so it kind of leads me to believe they got rid of it, but whatever. But that's pretty much it for Big and Froggy. I absolutely love this guy and I love the design we have for him now, but again, I just wanted to do some touch-ups. So glad we're not forgetting anyone. Okay, fine, I'll redesign Blaze next. Nah, in all seriousness, Blaze is a really cool character and she has a really cool design to match. And I mean, how could I forget her? She has honestly been the most requested character I've had so far, so here you go. For those of you who've been waiting, here's my redesign of Blaze the Cat. Much like Big, I wanted her face to be a bit more cat-like, so I extended her nose and gave her these spikes going out of her cheeks, almost as if they were whiskers. I made her hair slicked more back, and made it to where it kind of mimics Sonic's back spikes with how you can see 3 of them on the side. Since it's more or less that she's alluded to being his counterpart in an alternate universe, I think this is just something else that can correlate them together. I also changed the gem on her forehead, like it's in the shape of a flame now, as I feel like it would be cool if this is the thing that gave her her pyrokinesis. And lastly, I changed her dress, if that's even what it is. I don't know what you would really call it, but I made it to where it wraps around and it has this pattern on the red trim. And that's about it. I really think these changes enhance her design and give a little more insight to her character in terms of her powers. Hopefully I did y'all proud for those who have requested her. Now for the last redesign of the video, we got Cream the Rabbit. I really like how this one turned out. I feel like by giving her this outfit, it's a nice change of pace and further diversifies the outfits that the female characters can wear. And much like Amy, I feel like it's a little problematic for her to be wearing a dress like that while she flies and jumps in the air. It just makes it uncomfortable at times. I mean, I got the Jax figure hanging up from my computer and it always makes me feel like I'm gonna be put on some government watch list every time I look up. Like, with Amy it's bad, but the fact that this character's main power is that she can fly high in the air for everyone to see, I felt like it was necessary for this change. And by also giving her these overalls, I just feel like it better communicates her age, as she's much younger than the rest of the cast, so I think it's important to show that off in her design. I still made it to where it has the same color scheme as the dress she wears now, with the orange being from the dress itself and the blue from this tie, I guess, for the t-shirt, as well as adding this little flower on the front pocket. I thought it was also fitting to give her these overalls, as it would introduce more yellow into her design with the yellow buttons and the center of the flower, as the only other yellow in her design prior was her shoes and these little buttons on her gloves. Also, it's kind of fitting for a rabbit to use an outfit like this, as rabbits are mostly associated with gardens, and I can totally see her wearing an outfit like this while she's helping her mom in the garden. But yeah, in general, I feel like this outfit swap better displays how much younger she is when compared to the rest of the cast. And it just makes her also stand out. And there you have it. Here's this round of redesigns, which brings up our total up to 16 characters so far. I figured I'm no longer going to do the height chart with everyone in it, as it was beginning to feel too crowded. So here are just the characters in this video with how they would compare to Sonic's height, just so you can get a rough estimate on how tall they would be. And that about does it for this video. Again, it's super fun to go through these characters and pick apart what I like, what I don't like, and figure out what ultimately I would like to change. And I hope you all like what I came up with. And it's super fun to discuss with you guys down in the comments about how you would go about certain designs. I know sometimes it's hard to read every comment, but I really do try to read through all of them and kind of give my input and further the discussion with how you guys would go about redesigning these characters. Also comment down below on who you would all like to see redesigned in the future. I already know who I'm going to be doing in the next video, however, as a lot of you were probably expecting Ray, as I did Mighty in the last video. But I planned on doing him in the next part, along with some hooligans that you might be aware of, so stay tuned and look forward to that whenever I can get it out. Sorry. But with all that said, thank you all so much for watching. I'm Danspex, and I'll catch you later. Have a good one.